This isn't going to be a complete demonstration of all the different sounds you could get from this pedal. It's just a quick jam and some thoughts if you were maybe considering buying it. If you don't know what this pedal is, it's an offering by MXR that has a TS9 on one side and a BOSS DS1 on the other, and you can flick between the two with a toggle switch. For the purpose of this jam, I was on the TS9 side with both the drive and the volume set to 12 o'clock, and the tone was set completely off. That's not because it's an overly bright pedal, it's just that that's where I found a sweet spot. It's quite a long jam, so if you get bored, skip through, and I've got some thoughts at the end. It's a cool pedal. I like it. It's a good sound. I prefer the TS9 side, but then I would prefer a Tubescreamer to a DS1 anyway, so that figures. You have a toggle switch that toggles between the two sides. Now, it's an analog pedal, so there's no memory feature. It's not going to remember the parameters of the three potentiometers. As such, I don't think I would use that in a gig. I can't see myself stopping in the middle of a gig, bending down to the pedal board, flicking the toggle switch, and then potentially changing every single parameter on the pedal for the new sound. I don't think I would use the same settings for a DS1 as I would use for a Tubescreamer. You'd be using them for different reasons. Since there's no foot switch access to toggle between the two modes, and there's no option for an external foot switch, I think that you'd be more likely to do this if you were playing at home and you know, you could just take time to dial in your sound. It would be interesting if anyone who owns this pedal, and I'm sure there'll be somebody that stumbles across the video that owns the pedal. This is what guitarists do. We watch demonstration videos of gear we already own. But if you guys are using it on gigs, it would be interesting if you actually use this dual functionality. This is what the pedal does by comparison to the pedals it's modeled on. It has extra versatility because it's obviously two pedals in one. If, however, you don't use the extra versatility, you've just bought a very expensive Tubescreamer or a really, really expensive DS1. So you would have to ask yourself, if you're going to buy this pedal, whether you would use this dual functionality, and whether the difference in sound, and there is a subtle difference in sound obviously between this pedal and a Tubescreamer and a DS1, whether it was significant enough to warrant the kind of price hike. A Tubescreamer in its basic form is around about 85 quid right now, and a DS1 is about 45, and this has got an RRP of about 120. Maybe you can convince your wife that you've only bought one pedal when you've bought two. Maybe that's its intended purpose. But for live usage, I don't think that I would use both sides, in which case you have bought a more expensive variant of either of those two pedals. It's a short video, this one. I didn't have time to do a full demonstration. A friend of mine just lent me the pedal and he said, what do you think of this? So I just had enough time to just do a quick jam and mess around with it. Anyway, I hope you dug the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.